Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Quantum Series. My name is Nobi. I'm going to be your caster for today. Absolutely exciting stuff today. I'm getting right into it. Let's take a look at this bracket. We've got an elimination game here. We've got Moonlight Esports versus 12-hour shifters. Absolutely exciting one that we've got going on here. Of course, given the fact that this is an Elim game, the stakes are super, super high, right? So, of course, both teams are going to want to do the best they can to stay in their tournament. I'm sure they both want to. So, I mean, of course, given that we're going to see some interesting gameplay here today. And even just going back, we look at the bracket here. It's interesting because 12-hour shifters have lost to Affinity, got knocked down to the elimination bracket. Now they're facing Moonlight. So, of course, even for 12-hour shifters, you've got to think for them, the stakes are kind of even higher for them, right? They, of course, want to continue on. They want to get that rematch against Affinity. So, 100%, that is definitely what they're going to be looking to do here later on. Of course, last match, that previous match, Affinity versus 12-hour, they did have a super close one. So really, really interesting. You had players like Mengu, who did absolutely fantastic for 12-hour. And then, of course, on the other side, Moonlight Esports had a pretty tough loss last game against Omni. So that was it was interesting, right? It was like a 12-2 and a 12-3. So tough loss for them. They're in a situation where they're definitely going to try to redeem themselves in a way. And this is their chance to do that, right? So, and even that in that last match, not to say that players didn't do well. You had players like Jupiter who did incredible. That last match, they held their weight, did their best. So we're definitely going to be looking at Jupiter, and really just the team in general, right? Kind of speaks to the win condition for both of these teams. I really think for Moonlight, these players are definitely gonna really want to focus on how coordinated they are in this situation, how resilient they can be against the team that on paper is in a better form at the moment, right? Of course, having such a tough loss and coming up against the team that once again on paper might be a little bit more favored to win, it's going to be rough. But of course, an upset is never out of the woods. Valorant is such a crazy, wild game, so momentum based. So you never know what could happen. And of course, like I said, winner faces Affinity, and after that, the winner against that Affinity game will qualify to the playoffs. So, it is do or die for these players right now. Absolutely. I can't wait to get into the action. It's going to be super, super awesome. And really, I think the big thing for 12-hour too is it's kind of just a continuation of form, right? I kind of going back to that other side, continuing the form that we've seen from them. Even though they did lose, they made it a close game. They showed that they did not give up. And I really hope to kind of see that kind of energy here again today. I absolutely can't wait. And it's really all about the mental game at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and take a look at the maps that we've got going on here. I absolutely can't wait. See what we got. Map 1 of Haven going to be picked by Moonlight. And of course, in that situation, it's actually quite interesting because 12-hour is the one picking defense on Moonlight's map pick. It's a 3-site map, of course, a map that you generally expect to be attacker sighted. So very, very interesting there. And the next map we've got is Pearl. It's going to be 12-hour's pick. Moonlight picks defense. Not too surprised about that one. I think with the recent changes to Pearl, we're going to see some interesting gameplay changes here, just given how B-site is defended. So I'm excited to see how that ends up playing out. And then, of course, our decider map is going to be Corrode. Moonlight picks defense on that one. Once again, I personally think, in my opinion, Corrode, kind of a defender-sided map. So I absolutely cannot wait to get into this action here. Haven, uh, 100% a map that you have to kind of consider in the sense of how these players really want to play. And here we go. So starting out, Haven in the cards here. And let's see what we get with this agent select here. This one's live. So whoa, right away, I'm seeing a waylay. Interesting. On Haven. Waylay's definitely been one of those agents who has been a lot stronger in the meta as of late. So, you know, like I'm kind of I'm sort of surprised. I feel like you see a lot more Waylays on maps like you know, your corrodes and stuff like that. But you know, if these players are confident on Waylay, all the more power to them, right? 100%. So, I mean, the other interesting thing too is a Sky, a Harbor Hover. These are kind of unconventional picks in a way, but this is sort of how this patch has shaken up the meta, right? I feel like anything is in the cards right now simply because you know, so many agents that were staples in the game either got nerfed or, you know, we're in a situation where, you know, they just kind of, you know, players are feeling a little bit more on the fence about them. So it's definitely going to cause some weird comps, and these teams have got to be prepared for it 100%. The real question is, like I said, it talks, you know, I spoke about the mental game earlier. Of course, Moonlight is going to have to kind of be in a situation where maybe this unconventional comp can, you know, maybe take 12-hour shifters by surprise. Of course, speaking of by surprise, that Yoru lock is going to be interesting. I absolutely can't wait for that one. Genji, see how that see how that one works out. Double duels comp over for them. Jet and Yoru, I think it's actually a pretty good combo. I'm a pretty big fan of 12-hour shifters comp. I think they have a pretty solid one, pretty standard in a way, especially for a map like Haven. But let's see how that ends up working out for them. Moonlight, of course, in a situation where that Waylay pick as the only duelist is gonna be interesting. So that's about it. Let's get right into the match. See what we got here. Here we are. You know, once again, I personally think these folks are in a position where they've kind of like Moonlight starting out on an attack. I think they kind of have a leg up. No way. They want to come out on top in this half 100%. Let's see if they can get it done though. Here we go. Just about ready to get right into the action. Moonlight Esports against 12-hour shifters. The Group C elimination match. Do or die.
Be right back.
Leading the charge on that Waylay, dashing right into the site. That's the advantage that you get there. The Yoru on the site is going to refract, and all of a sudden it's still pandemonium. Genji still gets one, gets two on the site. Absolutely defending it. What in the world? 3 on the round already. That spike is down.
Enemy remaining.
Looking to retake though is 12-hour shifters shooting that Sheriff, and it is just down to Peachy. And they will not get it done. Gabe will grab that defuse, and that's the pistol round in the bag for the defense. Quite the retake there, and quite the defense from Genji, acting like a sentinel there on the Yoru. Incredible stuff, despite the absolute pandemonium that happened on the site there. We saw the Waylay dash. We saw so much stuff happening, but Genji kept it cool, calm, and collected throughout, and gave them pretty much the leg up in that pistol round by a long shot. So very, very early lead for them. And this is kind of honestly the caliber of play that we have come to expect from 12-hour in a way, like kind of comparing the two teams. But of course, it is early game here. Never too late for anything to happen. Smoke's gonna dissipate. That flash is coming through. They have complete access to the site. Another flash has gone through. And what in the world is going to happen to Genji right now? How in the world is he still alive? Remaining. The shot coming out. Spike and all these players on Moonlight falling. Once again, down to just Peachy. 1v4 situation. Nothing but a classic and a dream. Trying to get the damage done. Will it happen? No, it will not. Gabe landing the shot with what might as well be an operator in this anti-eco round, and we head right on to the bonus. A clean 2-0 for 12-hour shifters as they look to establish an early lead here in the game. Honestly, well played from Genji. Honestly, that's something, even in just these 2 rounds, I think it's pretty obvious that Genji is pretty capable of, you know, holding down the site, just isn't afraid to stay where he is. And I think that's really, really important. Not being afraid to kind of stay where you are, get as many as you can, because if you are really in that much danger, you are yours. You can get right out of there. So honestly, huge. Mengu grabs one. Trade is there from Jupiter. And so another one from Tenka. So now, first time in the game, we have man advantage for Moonlight, and we look to continue along that streak, but Winner has got something to say about it. And things all of a sudden quiet down on the western front. They look to go ahead and hit the C site. And Moonlight will do so. Tap of the spike, and they will get it down. So now post-plant situation. They're just going to back off. They're going to play towards main here. Play for the spam as much as possible.
I've got your trail.
And the Seeker's coming out as well. It's going to give away some of these players, everyone's location at this point. Only 3 players left, and we're going to head right in, clear that site. And this might be a little bit rough here for 12-hour shifters. These players are all going to converge at once. They've got the grab well online too, but Gabe with a nice shot to start out, and a headshot landed. An ostrich with 3, saving the bonus for Moonlight.
That's a star I cannot.
Absolutely incredible stuff, putting the team on their back in that bonus round, and got a little bit dire there. Was looking a little bit scary as soon as we saw some of these players fall over in main. We saw Gabe get taken out, and that was I mean, oh my. Very, very interesting. But Moonlight do get themselves on the board here. 1-2 to score this round right here. One of the more important ones in the half. First gun round of the game. First real test of the macro in general that we're going to see from these players. Ostrich going in the smoke with a judge, but I don't think they're aware of Mengu's position. No, they're not at all. Ostrich falls. That's a judge down.
Time to hunt.
And Jupiter has got barely any health whatsoever here. Flash coming out as well. These players have got to just sort of reset on Moonlight. Tenka looking to get a cheeky kill and potentially catch a timing. That's one found. Sees the other one and gets the second. Timing works out in spades. And Tenka trying to play their life, looking for more, waiting for the rest of the players on Moonlight to catch up to the A site here. But it's already trying to be defended. There's 2 here on there. And they're just going to rotate over. They know 100%. So does Winter. It's gonna move on back over to the C site. Trips are still there though, so setup could potentially be dangerous. You never know. And it does get broken, so info gathered, but it's gonna be too late. They're definitely gonna be able to get that spike down, plant it over towards default, so they are going to have to play towards the site. Might try to take garage here. They do catch up. Oh, wait. Winter gets 1. Trade is there, though. Tenka has got 3. One more picking CT and gets the 4th. There's absolutely no way. Throw there with the player towards long. I'm not sure. It's going to be all down to Mengu. Can they do it? Classic in hand. Not a whole lot of health. And Peachy saves it for Moonlight. Both players with not much health to spare, but my goodness, Peachy just barely lands out on top and evens out the score. Moonlight even it up. They get their gun round. And that right there, that's definitely impressive. And honestly, I talked about this, that the mental game that comes from that comes from 12-hour shifters here when it comes to momentum, I'm not seeing it. Moonlight are putting up a fight, a damn good one at that. Trip is, well, tripped. And Peachy finds 1. Spike getting planted once again, and you can actually see Peachy just chilling here over towards spawn. These players literally all converging on their position. They've got no idea whatsoever. Peachy gets 1 more before falling, and that's going to be a Vandal recovered. So not really what they wanted here, and potentially another one could fall here. We don't even know. One found. Winter getting another kill with the Sheriff. And so this eco round has turned from something that wasn't looking too great to a decent round for them, actually. Ostrich finding Gabe, and I mean, look, I mean, I don't even mind that. I don't even mind the save here. Actually, yeah, okay, I was gonna say he's gonna look for more and does fall, but you know what? Like I said, not too shabby there. I do think that Moonlight's play, really Peachy's play there, to stay in spawn when knowing that it was an eco round for 12-hour shifters, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Only because of the fact that, I mean, honestly, yes, you may get 1 or even 2 or 3, but you're ultimately giving up a gun, right? And so, you know, just even, you know, giving the enemy team a chance to save, or even get that kill onto you and chain more kills is, you know, it's kind of a slippery slope here, especially when you're playing games of this caliber. Dash onto the site and the refract pretty much instantly. These players, actually, Genji didn't see a single thing and he peed out. These players are just walking right into A with the spike. There's only 2, but they know now 100%. The plan is going to come down. Mengu is looking for these kills, and Peachy with the work onto Gabe. Breaks the trip. Information denial too, and the pit is going to come down. So now all of a sudden, this retake is going to be damn difficult for 12-hour shifters. I would be surprised if they got out of this one unscathed. One player found with the op. Mengu finding another one somehow, and Genji. What in the world is going on? Tenka finds another one. Last one standing is going to be Genji. Barely any health to spare, and pulls out the gun as soon as they go into the pit, and will fall to Tenka. Moonlight taking the lead by 2. 4 in a row for them. They've got themselves something to build upon now. They've shown everyone here, they've shown 12-hour shifters that they are here to play. They do not want out.
Oh, this is a nice
and I cannot wait to see how 12-hour shifters respond here. See how it ends up going. These players going fast into A. Trailblazer coming out as well, and this player, yeah, I mean, what can Genji really do here except just TP out? Except one less defender on the A site. It is pretty much all down to Gabe here to defend it at the moment. You can see what a shot from Peachy. Absolutely nothing that the player can do whatsoever. And these, pretty much everyone else just gets complete and total access to the A site. With the drop from heaven, Genji gets one before falling, and they're all trying to flood onto the site. Jupiter, though, got something to say about it. Spam coming out with the stinger. Jump over, trying to get information and a rifle. So now a 1v2 situation here. If there was anyone to do it, it would be Mengu. Spam coming out, and Peachy does not have a whole lot of health to spare, but the spam is good. And Moonlight claim another round. 12-hour shifters have got to get their head in the game. They've got to shift into gear. And quick. And yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a timeout right away from 12-hour shifters. And honestly, a well-timed one. You want to stop it here before the damage gets too bad. And of course, Moonlight in a situation where, you know, they are on attack. They are certainly in a position where, you know, you would expect them to sort of come out on top to some degree in this half. But 100%, Moonlight is doing quite well for themselves right now. 12-hour shifters cannot afford to let this get too out of hand too quickly, or they can find themselves in a rut they can't dig themselves out of. We've got to talk about it here. I'm interested to see what they come up with. Some sort of set play. I really do think that these players on Moonlight Esports kind of end up showing a lot of aggression early on, And I think the important thing is for 12-hour shifters to not allow themselves to fall too early. It's a really important part of this whole thing.
Alarm bot out.
If they do fall early
Here.
and they kind of get themselves in a situation where things get out of hand, then it's going to be quite difficult to win that round. Here we go. Back from the timeout. Let's see how 12-hour shifters approach this one. Flash coming in there, and like I said, a lot of early aggression, a lot of early noise, making their presence known on the site that they're going to hit, but they really don't care much. It seems to not affect them in the slightest. Ostrich finds one, Jupiter finds another, and they've got access to the C site. The timeout doesn't seem to do jack squat, but Mengu certainly does. Looking for something else, looking for more, reloading the rifle there. Dimensional drift, and Mengu still continuing along in the warpath. And these players clean it up off the back of Mengu's masterclass. And the dimensional drift from Genji. Very, very impressive to be so down in a situation and bounce back so quickly.
Nice to kill them with. It's the least we can do.
12-hour shifters get themselves. I told them that they needed to shift into gear. They certainly did in that round. And the real question at this point is whether they can continue along that trend.
Cutting through.
Tenka doing incredibly well for themselves, especially on that Viper. Really, both controllers doing incredibly well for themselves thus far. Mix definitely slow start right now, 1 and 6 KD. And wants to get up there fast. But I'm liking how Moonlight has been approaching this, right? This early noise is pretty much telegraphing, obviously, where they are at the start, but doesn't mean they're committing to whatever site they're making noise on. They're forcing 12-hour shifters to ask questions, and honestly, at a certain point, they're forcing them to over-rotate. Sometimes they do hit the site, sometimes they don't. It ends up being really confusing. Look at this push. They pretty much get themselves right into B.
Spike down.
But then they rotate from A link right into A. This Wrangler
remaining.
is absolutely incredible. And Peachy Falls gets traded, but Winter's the last one to stand here. It's a 1v3 situation, and that Spike is down. And the play here, realistically, is probably just to save. That's so smart from them. So smart, the way they've been approaching this half. And I mean, look, 12-hour shifters have just simply not found an answer to it yet. Not even after the timeout. Of course, they've got to start to answer back soon. Now Moonlight in a situation where they're going to be at 6 rounds. They guaranteed themselves equal footing at the half, at the very least. If not in a better situation, so things, you know, of course, not to say it is still somewhat early, right? But 12-hour shifters definitely, like I said earlier, don't want to dig themselves a hole that they can't get out of. Once again, it is really impressive too. I'm also a big fan of how Peachy has approached the lurks. I mean, it has just been, the timings have been so good. The way they're able to read when these players are going to be rotating through B and mid is just spot on nearly every time. You can see, once again, these players just showing a lot of A presence.
Shadows traveling.
They don't really quite over-rotate too much this time, but Mengu gets caught out in mid. These players, they show presence, instantly dip out. They just don't know at all. They can't be sure of anything right now. I really think 12-hour shifters at this point just kind of have to rely on their util Winter, though, with a great shot. It's a great one, and the Earl Depth is going to get popped off the back of that. It's going to be great information, but can't really do too much with it as that Spike is coming down onto the C side. It's down the shifters to retake now with inferior weaponry. As you can see, Moonlight once again pretty much all playing
You
towards
are
long at the
divided.
moment. The Astral Levi getting popped as well. And once again, it's gonna make 12-hour shifters ask questions. Is there anyone on site? They've got to spend time clearing it now.
run.
And the lockdown as well. They're gonna try to defend them as best they can. Jupiter and Peachy do just that.
One enemy remaining.
Tap of the spike. These players come out and they all fall. Genji gets one, but it's just a consolation. Moonlight find themselves at 7. And it seems like 12-hour shifters take an inch. Moonlight takes a mile. They have shown their resilience. It has been damn fun to watch. And keep in mind, this is with their duelist at 1-7. I mean, not to say that they're useless or anything like that, not by a long shot, but I mean, things are just objectively more difficult when, you know, the duelist isn't getting those first bloods. And of course, it speaks to how well Moonlight are trading right now. And again, the lurk from just Peachy. The trade is there, but... And actually, Mengu walks up too. Now, this is interesting. They're a little bit more proactive. That's so important. A great shot from Winter. Stoppage over on C. These players are held in their tracks. Mix and Jupiter, the last ones to stand, being pinched at the moment. Can't look everywhere at once. They've got to look behind them.
Last player
in just
standing.
a second, Genji finds one. TP's right out like a thief in the night. And there we go. Gade cleaning it up on B. Finds Jupiter and 12-hour shifters.
Last round before the switch.
They clean it up there, and that's a much better showing than we've seen. But is it too little, too late? That's the real question. Of course, they're in a situation where I really do think that Moonlight, now that they are, you know, have an opportunity to get an H or half, right, on their attack side. Again, you know, like 12-hour shifters kind of, they do have attack next, so, you know, given that that is the favorable side, maybe they're just super confident on it. You never know how this can play out, but I mean, at the moment, just in terms of the gameplay and strategy, it just looks like Moonlight has their number. But look at this play, the defender of the A site. You watch, and Mengu cleaning it all up right now. Mix finding one, looking for more, can't get it done. Winter finding it, and a 1v2 now for Tenka. And if there was anyone to do it, it would be them.
Cover going out.
Potentially finding a timing there. Spots out the player. Gonna spam through the smoke. Won't quite catch anything yet.
Here.
Enka inside the orb. And what in the world? Winter finding the shot through the smoke.
Switching sides.
And a 7-5 half. 12-hour shifters stabilizing just a little bit. Find themselves only at a 2-round deficit. And now they're on attack, and they've got, I mean, look, if they win this pistol, they win the anti-eco, we are tied up. So this still certainly is a game. Got one on our hands.
Heading to the above. Going astral, guys.
And ultimately, what I want to see from 12-hour shifters kind of coming into this half here is sort of a little bit of an approach that, oh my god, oh no, what in the world? What is this play? From Moonlight!
Down, C.
Genji gets 2! Somehow,
enemy
this
remaining.
is going in the favor of 12-hour shifters. A 2v1 now. They're up. Somehow, a set play for the ages from Moonlight, pushing up onto C, reading
Spike
12-hour
planted.
like a book. But it did not matter. Genji and Mengu come out with the goods. The spike is down, all down to just Peachy, and the pick is there, and Genji cleans it up. 3K with the Sheriff, and they claim the pistol. They're 1 round from tying the game. My God, what an excellent play. I mean, I was all aboard the Moonlight train early in that round. That was such a good set play there. They had the right formula. They had the read too. And they just couldn't come out on top. Genji coming out with the frenzy, just mowing them down. It did not matter. And that is exciting. Moonlight certainly is not out of the woods yet. Of course, now, given that 12-hour shifters won the round, have a little bit more flexibility in terms of where they want to go. They just want to make sure that they don't hit the site that's stacked. And you look here, it looks like Moonlight is all rotating towards C. 1 player left on A. Shots coming out, and Genji finds 1.
Cutting through.
Barely losing any health whatsoever. Spam comes out. 1 found onto Mick. Jupiter finding another kill, but Genji is good with the trade. Players
1 enemy
hiding
remaining.
there. Mengu going all the way around town, and Ostrich, the last one to stand, with a classic and a dream. And potentially that dream might be alive. Winter looking for it. Gonna spam with that Guardian. Won't land it, but Genji does. We are all tied up at 7. We have certainly got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, 12-hour shifters, they just like Moonlight kind of, you know, they hit their stride. They got that, you know, that 5 round in a row kind of streak there. They had the momentum riding throughout most of the first half. Now 12-hour shifters kind of threatening that, right? They've got 4 in a row of their own, and of course this bonus round you would expect Moonlight to win, but I mean, you never know at this point. Honestly, that dimensional drift is huge too, because they're going to spot all these players out on the site. Play towards CT is going to TP right out, but they're just going to go ahead and insert Mengu. Waiting for these players to leave. None of them are at the moment, but actually that's great info too. That flash. Excellently timed, and not 1 found. That's going to be one of the smoke characters down, but so unfortunate. And now Tenka looking to defend it, will not do much of anything there. Gets taken out by Genji. These players on 12-hour shifters are gonna have access to C. Gonna go ahead and get that spike down as well. Watch getting that kill. And of course, without the smokes, makes things a little bit more difficult. These players have just got to play together. They've still got the min advantage, still got plenty of util left over. The initiator utility is certainly going to be able to stall somewhat. Winter playing on the site. Jump up onto the bots. Will get taken out by Jupiter. And here comes the retake. Spam coming out. Gabe finding 1. That's a great one-way smoke, but there's a counter. It's going to get taken away. And Peachy finds 1. Spam through the smoke. No way out. To get this defuse under their nose. Moonlight find it. And they grab that bonus round. My God. They claim it, and it was damn close. So close. And now, of course, I mentioned this earlier, Moonlight expected to win that bonus, but I mean, this economy, you know, in this first gun round, it is so important. It a lot hinges on this, right? I would almost say this round kind of counts for 2 in a way. This is gonna be interesting. Tanka though, finding an early pick with that outlaw, that's huge. Onto Genji. They didn't really have much that they could do. I believe they only had light shield, so all it took was a body shot. That thing was more or less an operator. 1 shot, 1 kill, and players on 12-hour shifter is going to walk into B. See the alarm bot. Now, Players like Peachy are 100% aware. You see a peek from the smoke here. Line comes out, and they're all gonna flood right in. Jupiter finding one. Gabe with the trade, looking for more. That spike is not even down yet, and these players have flooded in. Peachy with one, and they are absolutely the sentinel that Moonlight wanted. They come out with the goods once again and establish a 2-round lead on their map pick. And I mean, that aggression that we saw from Moonlight in the attack half has largely carried over. I mean, it has been really, really impressive on their part. They've just kind of, they haven't skipped a beat in that sense, right? I mean, they've certainly, like, from the set play we saw on the pistol to some other, you know, situations where we just kind of all see them death ball down a choke. I mean, it has been honestly quite impressive, and you can even see kind of that aggression here. These two players, right? You can see Mix, you can see Jupiter just kind of playing it together, trying to get these early picks, and that's the kind of duelist initiator play that you want to see, that kind of coordination early on. Like, that's what gets you your first bloods. Mangu finding that kill, quiet as a mouse over towards Garage. Is rewarded for it. The kill onto Tanka. He's gonna pop from the shadows, head right over onto C, get that information, gonna cancel it, but it's good info.
No charges left.
TP onto the site. It is more or less completely free for them. Of course, potential flood in the cards here for 12 or against 12-hour shifters. Moonlight looking to get it done. Jupiter finds one. It's a good start. And Mix with another shot coming out onto Long. And as quickly as there was hope, the hope dies down. 12-hour shifters fall once again, even after getting that spike down. And these players on Moonlight are not afraid to play retake in the slightest. They're so confident on it, dare I say. I mean, like, they prefer it.
Out.
And I mean, yeah. And I mean, of course, even taking a look at the ultimate economy here, you do have Convergent Pass, you have the Astral Divide, have the lockdown from Peachy, and, you know, on the other side, you do have some certainly valuable ults, right? I think the most out of those is going to be that Neural Theft. But I mean, the other ones, you know, from the shadows, generally not considered a super high value ult. Blade Storm, not really, kind of a similar situation. Of course, it can be in the right hands, but 12-hour shifters just haven't been on it. Coming out, and of course these players on Moonlight looking to just kind of play their lives here, right? They're happy to do that. They're happy to play retake, and that's exactly what they're going to do. You can even see on the C site, Tenka just dipping back, still waiting to get info, kind of just playing in and out, not even really necessarily trying to catch one early on. They don't have a care in the world right now. They are confident. They're cool, calm, and collected. They get that info over towards mid. Now Winter chilling here on the lurk as well, just waiting, not trying to get spotted by any of this Killjoy utility from Peachy. Question is Peachy aware of this possibility? Not too sure. Peachy doesn't care. Peachy does not care. Spit on the little shark, but can't do that for too long, as Shark has fallen with Peachy, it seems.
30 seconds left.
Is now 12-hour shifters. They claim A. They do it in a pretty good fashion here. That's a well-used flash, but it doesn't even matter. Winter peeking out. Mangu with another. Now it's a 2v5. Spam coming out as well, and it is not looking good right now for Moonlight. 12-hour shifters for seems like the first time in a little while find themselves at a decent advantage here, but Ostrich has got something to say about it. There's absolutely no way. I don't think it's planted for them, is it? Oh my goodness, Ostrich! One found! And Genji jumps down from the sky, an angel of death! Finds 3! And it's 10-8, trying to keep it close. Genji doing the most right now. 19 and 11, followed closely by Mengu. These two players have been the ones to step up in the game. You can tell how fired up they are. You can tell that they do not want to lose. They don't want to be out of here.
Yes, this should do.
They know what the stakes are.
Get out of my way!
And of course, Mengu, one of the players that we kind of rated highly, just comparing even in the last match in terms of 12-hour shifters. So, oh my God, what in the world was that shot? I wish I could have seen that firsthand. My goodness. What a kill. One tap to the head, and actually found more info too. Spotted out another player over towards B. And look at this positioning here. Mengu looking to potentially catch them on the lurk. Won't get it done though. And Winter finding the shot. That could be dangerous. Spike planted. The retake, once again, going to be somewhat difficult here, especially with that operator in play. I honestly think the play here might just be to save. One of these players playing right. They've got absolutely no chance. Mengu falls to the operator, but now they know that there is one in play. They might try to go hunting. Not too sure. Doesn't quite look like it. And yeah, they do not want any part of that site. They're just going to go out and chill over towards C, try to save their guns. But yeah, and of course, 12-hour shifter is going to just get out of range of the spike. Not going hunting too much now. And we're going to allow these players on Moonlight to keep the operator in play. But now we've got a one-round game. It's been kept close. These two teams have been so back and forth, but not really. That's kind of been a recent trend, right? We've kind of seen long streaks of rounds from either side, and it's kind of been the story of this game so far, but not quite the case now. I mean, the most that we're seeing is 2 or maybe 3 rounds, and I honestly have a sneaking suspicion that it's gonna get a whole lot more back and forth going into the end of this game, the last rounds of regulation here. And you can see these players on 12-hour shifters kind of just not really doing much over towards A, and that's actually good information. Take up the great shot with that Marshall, looking for more, but it's not gonna happen. Genji landing the headshot through the wall. Mengu
Cover going out.
trying to catch someone on the B, but trying to do a Peachy impression, but it has not worked out quite as well as they had hoped. And Ostrich flanking the flanker
Kill.
and gets flanked. You watch, finds that kill. That's a great trade. Now it's a 3v3 situation here. Now these players trying to sneak up onto A.
$30 left.
This operator, I mean, the line is there, but I don't think anyone's peeking at all.
Spike
Peachy finds
planted.
one over towards mid. The lurk master in this game so far.
Last player standing.
Got this entire time, and Nyx finds one. We could see more potentially. 42-18, a dream. 7 bullets. Cannot get it done, though. Peachy finds the kills. They come up with the goods. Moonlight maintain their lead. Extend it. And we are at 11. The thing's starting to get a little more dire here.
Placing alarm bot.
And I mean, look, I mean,
Calling my bot.
it has been a treat to watch. And once again, I'm a big fan of the way Moonlight has continued to show their aggression, but kind of change it in subtle ways. I mean, they have kind of shown them, they've proven themselves to be very, very adaptable, whereas honestly, 12-hour shifters have been less so.
Nowhere
I mean, they rely on their fundamentals more, which is a good thing. But I mean, you can see here, These players on Moonlight are not afraid of them in the slightest. Tenka finds one. Trade is there. And this is all going on inside the pit. And what a shot. Wow, they rotate and catch Peachy. Finally, seems like one of the first times that's happened throughout this entire game, but that op line could be dangerous. Shot comes out. It actually gets taken out. Gabe was ready and waiting. And so the op falls. Mix goes down. We could potentially see a flank here. Spike comes down. Tenka looking to rotate through B here. Gets caught out by Mengu. We find success on the lurk there. And Gabe ready for the player in short. And 12-hour shifters once again maintain kind of a close game, a one-round game, and a timeout here coming out for what I believe to be Moonlight. And I mean, it's pretty necessary at this point. I'd 100% say so. And they've got to kind of discuss here what, you know, the way to approach, the way to close out this game. This is their map pick. So of course, this is the map they're going to feel probably out of everything the most comfortable on. And if that's the case and they lose, it's going to look real rough. But I mean, one thing is for sure, they have put up such a strong fight, regardless of the outcome of this match. It has been a treat to watch. And I'd say the unsung hero of the game. I mean, maybe not from my perspective, right? Because I've talked about them a decent amount, but Peachy has just been incredible on these lurks. Tenka, of course, as well. So solid with the mechanics, too. That's honestly, in large part, what's resulted in their KD being at 17 and 17, them being at the top of that scoreboard right now. You can see here they push up once again to stack over towards A. They're just going to push right up. These players on 12-hour shifters want absolutely nothing to do with it. They're going to head right over towards the C site. Once again, these players on Moonlight going to have to try to get the retake going here. Few shots with the classic. Not really gonna get much, but look at this lurk from Mengu. They're just gonna go ahead and go right around. One found, two. And Tenka Jupiter find it, but it's all cleaned up. Peachy, the last one to stand over in CT. They know exactly where they are. Shots coming out. Peachy has got so much to do. Pretty much all down to them to save it. And of course, don't necessarily expect Moonlight to win this round, but of course, in a game as close as this, it's important. That was a great shot, but I mean, it's all tied up. My goodness. Yeah, we may be in for a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a nice spot.
And you know what? I am all here for it.
Placing alarm
Of
bot.
course, I appreciate everyone sticking around. Here we go, round 23. Second to last round of regulation here before we head over into overtime. At this point, it might as well be 0-0. It is virtually anyone's game. They're so back and forth. And now, I mean, I talked about 12-hour shifters adaptability. It seems like things have gotten better. There's no way, there's absolutely no way Genji is pulling a Durka like this, and it doesn't work out. There's no way. It all goes wide. Mix finds another. And there's 3 left. 5v3 now. And they find themselves walking over towards A. But this potentially is a little bit of a blunder here. Ostrich leaving A. not really able to get too much info. Of course, they're just going to have to wait until that spike is fully down. But of course, in that situation, I mean, these players are definitely going to be in proper positions here. But maybe they just want to look to push up. One down, two. Ostrich ready and waiting. Tap of the spike. It is all down to Gabe, who's been great, but I don't know if they've been that great. Dropping down potentially.
Scanning ahead.
It's a real danger to the recon coming out. Yeah, Ostrich just falls. Once again, the angel of death. And Moonlight find themselves at match point. On the precipice of claiming the first map of Haven. Getting themselves an advantage coming into Pearl. And we have another timeout here coming out from 12-hour shifters. They want this. They want to get themselves to overtime. They've got to talk about it. They've got to calm themselves down. I'm sure to some degree, at the very least, the nerves are somewhat heightened here. These players, they've done so well. Mengu, Genji. I mean, we've seen it throughout this entire time. There's hope in their veins. That's that hope that's going to carry them here into overtime of the first map. That's ultimately what's going to have to drive them if they want to come out on top here in Haven. Our question is, what are they going to come up with? Are they going to come up with some sort of set play? Going to try to do something unorthodox? At this point, Moonlight, on the flip side, have sort of got to anticipate it, right? To be expecting the unexpected in a sense. And see these players on 12-hour leaning towards A, but honestly, ultimately prepared to pivot towards anywhere. That spike isn't in the hands of anyone quite yet. So yes, there's noise being made towards A, and that is the strong side of the map for Moonlight. The question is that ultimately where the spike is going to go? I'm not too sure. Trailblazer down short, doesn't really quite see much of anything at all, but sort of an illusion. There's still 4 players here. And the Trailblazer comes out, or the Seeker comes out rather. Is going to find some of these players, but it sort of confirms the obvious, right? That these players are pulled towards A, at least at the moment.
Careful.
The turret does get some good information, so now these players aware that at least one is not necessarily towards A anymore, and they're just going to sort of lean towards C at this point. I honestly think that was kind of the idea the entire time. 12-hour shifters looking to kind of play back and kind of play out the timer, play out the clock as much as they can here. I think they're going to double back A. Absolutely. And that's a good start for Mengu. Yeah, they're heading right towards the A site. Ostrich is there, the only one to defend it at the current moment. Gonna head right in there. Looking for a cheeky kill, finds one, can't find another. The trade is there. 12 seconds on the clock, plenty of time to get that spike down. Spam comes out and Mix finds it, evens out the count.
Healing over here.
And that heal may end up being what seals the deal. But you watch. Finds it. And then wide pick. Mix finds 3. Saves it. Looking to close it out. And the last player towards long. A 1v1 situation. Jupiter versus Gabe. The defuse is there. Hunter's Fury at the ready. Plenty of time left. They're going to have to put it away. Top of the spike. Jupiter's going to be, they'll probably get half here. 100%. They're going to try to stick it. And Gabe seals the deal. And seals overtime for 12-hour shifters. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Overtime.
And they've got to be elated right now. My goodness. We have certainly got a game on our hands. I mean, that was down to the wire. And of course, on the flip side, Jupiter has to be reeling right now. Absolutely devastating for Moonlight to just not be able to close it out in regulation. There's more that's got to be done. Now they're in a situation, economy doesn't matter. Ultimate economy doesn't matter. It is all down to strategy. Pure strategy. Real question is who will come out on top here?
Cover going out.
Honestly, both sides have been... Oh no, whoa, Mengu! Just kind of didn't care at all. Peeks right out. Trade is there from Mix. And the heal as well. Once again, of course, could be an important piece of the puzzle here in terms of how the round is ultimately played. And of course, the duelist is not going to be as afraid when they have some health to work with.
Supply destroyed.
And I'll run a 4v4 situation, likely favoring the attackers here, just given the fact that there's less space to defend. Of course, you do have a 3-site map, so the spread is going to have to be, it narrows even more than it originally was. Sort of Moonlight kind of in a situation where they've got to take advantage of the position that they're in right now, and looks like they're doing just that. One player left to lurk.
30 seconds left.
Of Moonlight head over right towards A, and they're gonna grab that kill onto Mengu. Plant at the ready.
Spike planted.
And they've got it down. And now you can see your watch. They've got the operator in play on this retake. It's going to be difficult. I mean, honestly, if Moonlight just kind of play their lives here, play for smokes, kind of just try to prevent this op player from doing much, they might have this one sealed away. You see, there's not really a whole lot that the Jet can do. They're just going to drop down, and they've got a shorty too, so it's quite difficult trying to play their live. Gabe finds one. Time ticking down. Could spam to the box. Gabe finding one. There's no time whatsoever. And the players fall, but it does not matter. Moonlight find themselves on top in overtime, and once again give themselves another chance here.
Switching sides
to close out the map.
Point.
To reconcile the mistakes that they've made. And another timeout coming out from Moonlight. Of course, they gain another one in overtime. They want to talk here. They want to just come up with something here. And I think ultimately the play is going to be to just push out against somewhere to try to get a read, maybe gamble as to where 12-hour shifters might be trying to hit. And if they can do that again and play for trades, they might come out on top. But of course, like on the flip side, 12-hour shifters, they want to sort of play a little bit more defaulty here, I think. We want to just try to get info as to where the stack might be, what kind of set play Moonlight might be doing. And I honestly think that's what they were doing in the tail end of the game, of regulation. I mean, it worked out for them, certainly. But I think that's kind of the play here. And of course, the lurks have been great from both sides. Of course, we saw Peachy, we saw Mengu has been excellent. They've both been great. You can see how much value Mengu's gotten on the lurk too. Just the ability to get one over towards mid and then kind of just join back with the team later on. It's been quite impressive. So great start, and we are gonna see off the bat a little bit more A pressure, just some noise made. But you can see the Killjoy setup is sort of spread out, right? You do have the alarm bot towards B. You have the majority of the setup towards A. That clone trying to trip some things. Not really gonna get much. Trailblazer coming out. Cage as well. Kind of gonna curve the look just a little bit. One shot from Oscars, but the trade is there. Winter with 2. It's a 4v3 situation. Turret at the ready, and they've got to just kind of wait this out if they want to try to play it quietly, not give away too much info. It's exactly what they're going to do. The watch is just going to wait for the rest of the team to come back.
Cutting through.
And here comes the hit. No one here right now towards the A side. It is they're in. Not a
30
fear in
seconds
the
left.
world right now, and they're Gonna go ahead and get that spike down. 12-hour shifters now set up. And Moonlight find themselves in a man disadvantage here on this retake. So not impossible, but certainly more difficult.
Slow down.
That paranoia coming out, it's gonna delay that cut diffuse even further. And things are getting real difficult now. Genji finds one, Mangu with another. It is all down to Peachy. And what more can they do? Spam coming out through the box here. They're gonna have to try to jump down. They find one, but the trade is instant. And 12-hour shifters equalize. We are going to another overtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Overtime.
And this speaks to each team's strength. Like I said, 12-hour shifters have just got great fundamentals ultimately. Moonlight Esports, they've got great ideas. Their ability to come up with different plays, forcing 12-hour shifters to adapt based around their fundamentals. It's been great to see. And that's a great start with that operator looking for another. Doesn't quite get it though. 12-hour shifters finding themselves in a situation where they're up early. Oh no, but Mix! Wait, the shot was missed, and Mix finds the kill. So an operator down, and they're gonna go ahead and rotate. Two more players directly on the site. And Genji over towards Garage. Mangu's gonna meet up with them right now. They're just gonna try to re-hit, I believe. There's so many players here. We could see an interesting play. Flash comes out, but there's no one home. Up. And another shot, and it's missed, but there's info gathered. They're gonna have to play for a retake here. The smoke is down, and so is the trip! But it doesn't matter! Peachy falls! Mix finds one.
30 seconds left.
The count is equalized, and one's found! No trade anywhere. 2v3 situation on this post plant. And what more can they do? The flash is good! And the pin is down! It doesn't even matter! Gabe finds it through the smoke. And 12-hour shifters find themselves at match point, at game point. They've come all the way back from the brink. And Gabe, it's poetic, isn't it?
Switching sides.
The one to save them, to bring them to overtime, is the one to get them to match point in overtime. So impressive. And each one of these players have just had their moments to shine. Absolutely. Just regardless of any KD, regardless of anything, I think the greatest part about 12-hour shifters is their ability to coordinate. It's clear as day. Impressive. But is it going to matter in the end? What is going to happen? Moonlight in a situation where they've got to defend. Haven't won a defense round in a little bit. Let's see if they can come out on top here to continue the game. Lurk out here. We could see a timing. That's a dink onto Winter. And they're just going to go ahead and back off. You can see they're a little bit of a reset here. You can see Tinka all the way up C trying to maintain information, but there is a trip there. But at this point, they've got to be aware that the rest of these players are leaning towards mid and A at this point, just given the amount of info that they do have. That seems to be the case. Ostrich is just chilling in short at the moment. You can see Jupiter playing fast rotate as well onto A, allowing them to play off noise. I'm not sure if Ostrich is going to get caught out here. 100% could. And no! It's not cleared! One found. Trade is instant, though. And there's no one else home. 12-hour shifters get the spike down. And once again, another retake attempt for Moonlight. They've been perfectly happy to do this thus far, but A site on Haven is a notoriously difficult site to retake, but apparently not for Moonlight. They all converged in everyone's position. Mangu with one has got to save it. Look at the wrist.
One enemy remaining.
Another one! And does not get it! Jupiter saves it! Equalizes the score
Don't
once
even
again!
start that shit,
And another
teammates.
overtime we go! 14-14.
Switching sides. Overtime.
If you see one of my creatures, it's a good thing, all right?
And
figure out what
my
they do
God, it has
eventually.
come down to heroics so often here. What a treat. Absolutely incredible stuff that we have seen.
Walk out!
They're coming out, but not. No way. Genji with the spam. Completely aware of where the Trailblazer came from. And oh my goodness. Jupiter gets punished for it in spades. It's huge. Another flash. At the ready. They dodge it and miss.
Spike down A.
Finds two. 3v3 now. Equalizes the count. And Moonlight have got to kind of reset here. Obviously, the hit looked like it was going towards A, but at this point, once again, they're forcing 12-hour to ask questions. It looks like those questions are eventually going to be answered. That answer is going to be the C site. Winter, jiggle peeking, sees the barrel of the gun. Peachy has got an idea of where they are too. Is going to go ahead and use convergent pads.
30
It's going
seconds
to
left.
force them to just chill. Spike goes down. It's excellent delay. And they are going to back off. Tenka, though, in an excellent position over in garage. I don't know if these players are aware whatsoever. Could see a timing here. Wait, a counter timing though. Wait, no way. Tenka has no idea that the player has already gotten past. I don't think anyone's aware. And now
Last
it's
player
completely just gone
Clutch.
to the wayside. The 12-hour shifters find the round. Winter
Switching
sticks the
sides.
defuse.
Match point.
And they're at 15. They're on match point once again. Moonlight has got to get it done on defense.
That goes there.
And this has been a roller coaster of a game.
Yes, this should do. This goes here. I will find you.
And here we go. Once again, a little bit of an A, what seems like an A push, right? And I feel like they've been showing this kind of as their default. They've kind of conditioned Moonlight to expect this noise over towards A. But again, now Moonlight's the ones who's having questions asked of them. Is 12-hour ultimately going to hit the site? They don't know. Part of the beauty of what we're seeing here. And here we go. Flash comes out. One found.
Spike
Sees
down
a
A.
second. That's devastating.
Slow down.
Mix finds it, and somehow these players have all converged. One found from Gabe, and it's a 4v2. And everything has just seemingly gone wrong.
30 seconds left.
Decay gotten put.
One
No
enemy remaining.
way! How have they pushed this back? 12-hour shifters
Spike
shift
planted.
the tide in their favor. And Tenka's the last,
One
but
enemy
instead,
remaining.
can they do it? Mangu 180
win.
saves it, and they claim the game. 12-hour shifters find the first map of Haven. They claim Moonlight's game, their map. Insane. My goodness, what a match. And these players, the amount of heroics that we just saw, I cannot believe it from both teams. Absolutely unbelievable. And I have got to see what we have stat wise. This has been one of the most entertaining matches that I think we've had in the tournament thus far, just in terms of the back and forth and the way these teams adapted to each other. I mean, we've definitely seen overtimes, but I, I don't really think we've seen anything quite like this. That was definitely a treat. And of course, I mean, I've got to see these stats. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what we've got. 12-hour shifters find themselves winning the map of Haven, winning Moonlight's map pick of Haven 16-14. Mengu at 30 kills. Genji at 24. Gabe at 26. I mean, all these players, they're too good. Even on the flip side, Ostrich coming out with the MVP on Moonlight. Tenka, I mean, was nearly just as good. And all these players got value in one way or another. They all played their role. It was anyone's game. Anyone could have gotten that one, but ultimately 12-hour shifters find themselves on top early in this series. And of course, Moonlight fought hard. They have to be, downtrodden to some degree, but they cannot stay that way. They've got to keep their head in the game if they want to stay in the tournament. It has been an absolute pleasure so far, and it's only been one map. There is plenty more action left to come, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after one of the greatest matches that we have seen in the entire tournament, in the entirety of Quantum Series thus far. Incredible. 16-14 in favor of 12-hour shifters on Moonlight Esports' map pick. And honestly, I was a map that I quite honestly expected Moonlight to win. It was incredible. So insane stuff. It was so back and forth. It was literally, it came down to so many different clutches. It was awesome. So I absolutely can't wait. Pearl now in the cards here for 12-hour shifters and Moonlight Esports here. Let's see what we get. Agent select right now. We have another Harbor Hover the moment from Peachy. Tenka, we're seeing a much different comp here. I see Tejo, I see Reyna. So many. What is going on? These guys know what in the world. Well, okay. 4 duelists would be insane after what we just saw on the last map. That would be wild. Losing on your map pick and then going for 5 duelists on the next one. Certainly would be unexpected, but not sure if that would be the best decision to make. 12-hour shifters, though, of course, to kind of talk about the position that they're in. They've kind of obviously they won the last map in overtime. This is their map pick, so you would expect them to be confident on it. They lock in all their agents here. We're seeing Vice and Chamber. And Yoru as a solo duelist. So interesting comp on their part too. Really, really interesting. You can see some of these players on Moonlight Esports now changing to their actual picks here. You are seeing an Astral locked in Vice Yoru. Again, another Yoru solo duelist. It's interesting. Even after the nerfs, how this agent is still so prevalent in the meta. I'm quite interested to see how that's going to play out from both of these teams, right? Of course, when one team has 2 duelists and the other team has 1, and you can almost kind of expect the team with 2 to be at a little bit of an advantage in certain ways. But I mean, now I don't even, I don't even know. I can't even be sure. Very, very interesting stuff, but I absolutely can't wait. I mean, if this match is anything like the last one, we are absolutely in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle your seatbelts and come along for the ride with me here on map 2 of Pearl. I absolutely cannot wait to see what we have in store for the players who have shown so much more. And I didn't even talk about it. Oh my goodness. The crazy part is, if you look, 12-hour shifters have a sub. They subbed out their MVP Mengu for another player, for the Chamber player, Loser. And then they can take it out instantly to the salvos. No way. Jupiter, that's not the start that he wanted for sure. That's so unfortunate. Here we go. Entry onto the A site. Great shot from Peachy, trying to defend it as best they can, but Genji finding it, and here comes the flood. It's out, and you watch!
1 enemy remaining.
Goes absolutely insane, and it's all down to Tenka. I mean, if there was anyone to do it, it would be him, but you never know. I mean, this one's certainly going to be difficult. These players are in different positions, so do have sort of 3 1v1s in a way. It does not matter. Genji spots him out, takes him out, and 12-hour shifters find themselves with the pistol. So despite the interesting start, I'm not even sure what happened to Loser with the salvos there, but I mean, look, it ultimately didn't matter. 12-hour shifters do find themselves on top. And that right there was definitely impressive. And I'm kind of curious to see kind of what the differences are going to be between what we saw in Haven and this map. Obviously, it's a 2-site map. We probably are going to see a much different style of play from Moonlight. We saw a lot of aggression last time, and honestly, I'm not quite sure. I mean, maybe that's part of their identity as a team, but I'm curious to see how things kind of change up here, whether they play just as aggressive, whether they tone it back a bit, try to play a little bit more calculated. Doesn't look like it, certainly, as Juniper finds that kill onto Looser. They find themselves up right now in the anti-eco.
Scanning ahead.
Wall tripped.
Sheer gets triggered, and it is a solid 1v1 right now, but watch.
Launching thorns.
Doesn't have a care in the world, still
Thorns
does
are
not
alive.
matter. Go ahead and get that spike down. They equalize the count as well. Actually, it's half of the spike. Salvos end up being
remaining.
devastating, but it doesn't even matter. Genji just goes on the lurk, finds 3, and dips right
Spike
out.
planted.
The ultimate disrespect. And looks like Tenka at this point just
Right there.
advertising for Paper X and Sentinels. And there we go. You watch. Finds the kill, and that is going to be another round in the bag for 12-hour shifters. They find the anti-eco in a relatively clean fashion. And these players, I mean, on Moonlight, they've got to kind of get themselves into gear and fast. If 12-hour shifters get themselves this bonus here, it's
Last place.
not looking too good. Like I said, obviously, just given the fact that it is do or die for Moonlight. Literally,
Retrieving
all
wall.
the pressure is on them right now. They just lost their map pick in overtime in a crazy back and forth game, and that had to be demoralizing. But oh my, wait a minute. No, I want to know what the heck that shot was. What in the hell was that, Winter? I heard one shot through the wall with a Guardian. That is unfair right there. What a shot. And trades are there. And now things are going to quiet down just a little bit. These players in 12-hour shifters, they've got the advantage. They can kind of pull back and reset just a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, it's going to force these players on Moonlight to explore different areas of the map. And I think, actually, now that they know, I believe they still hear the footsteps to an extent. Yeah, they definitely do. The entry is going to go ahead onto A. They're going to get the spike down for free, but this double flank, I mean, yeah, it's not really going to get much value at all because of that sheer wall. Flash comes out as well. It's got a full blind. Peachy, and they just gotta kind of chill here. There's 2 players, multiple players here watching for it. Spam coming out, and now the other 2 players scanned over towards Link. Peachy finds one though, huge. And another shot, and Gabe cleans it up. Peachy, the last one to stand here. 1v3 situation, time ticking down. And the bonus lies in their hands. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do much of anything. Opts to save the Vandal. A smart decision here. But 12-hour shifters now find themselves with momentum early in the game.
Good, aren't I?
This speaks, right? This speaks to the fundamentals. Obviously, Mengu was a really notable player, was probably the MVP of the last map. But, I mean, you gotta think, 1 sub, ultimately, I don't think it matters all that much for these players. They are all so dialed in. They're all coordinated. It shows at the moment.
Let's see now.
Of course, Moonlight Esports players on their team are nothing to scoff at, as evidenced by what we just saw previous match here. But it is a new game with new stakes.
Obscuring vision.
0-3 right now. Moonlight looking to get their first round, and now facing a worse eco. The watch finding one. And the stun comes out as well. Spam comes out, and Yowaki's just running it the hell down. Goes right into the smoke. The salvos go, but it's not really going to be all that much delay. That spike, it's planted. Shooting the shots. Can't really land it though. Finds body shot. Ostrich finds one. Trade is instant. Peachy finds another though. Now it's a 3v2. So a well-placed sheriff shot could very well equalize things. And now these players are within 1 shot. The blind comes out. It's a little bit more delay. Shot dart comes out, and Looser cleans it up. 12-hour shifters gain the round, a round that we expected them to win just given the economy, but Moonlight
That works.
certainly put up a good fight there. Certainly still got some fight left in them. And I honestly want to see that same aggression now. Just given kind of the way that 12-hour shifters clearly are playing, I do kind of want to see that same aggression. I want to see that same confidence that we saw on Haven for Moonlight. That honestly, I think is going to be part of the win con. I said it earlier, I called it earlier. It's ultimately the mind game, right? That 12-hour shifters are trying to play. They knew coming into this that they sort of on paper had the advantage. So 100%, they want to try to get in these players' heads. They want to try to demoralize them to make sure that they feel like they have no chance of winning. And they can achieve that, then
Here.
the series is all but won for them. But
Portal closed.
of course, you don't know what's going on inside these players' heads on Moonlight. All we can see is how it translates in the
Time
server.
to jump.
3 players now over towards B. TP
Here.
out. Ready for the hit. They go up slowly. There's only 1 player here at the moment. It's gonna be Peachy. Left to defend. It's everything. No noise, no smokes, no nothing right now. Actually does get popped. Here we go. Steel Garden at the ready. It's not going to affect Peachy whatsoever. Sheer Wall gets triggered. TP into the site, looking for it. And Genji, instant with the headshot. Back sight is theirs, and so is the spike plant. And Looser grabs the kill. You'll watch with another kill. Gets 2, actually. It's all down to Tenka. 5v1.
Time is
And
for
Genji
hustling.
trades it. 5-0.
Time to jump.
12-hour shifters. They won it. Genji at 9-1. Your watch at 8-2. I mean, it has been impressive from these players. They have remained just as dialed in as I saw them previously.
Find you.
And now Moonlight find themselves on another eco round. And they've got to just resort to stacking here. The question is, if 12-hour shifters hit this, what's gonna come of it? I mean, they've got to try to get some sort of info first. Yeah, that drone is gonna come out. Clone is there as well. And so is the sun. 1 player falls, and it all comes falling down. Everyone just gets taken out. The stack doesn't even matter.
planted.
But Dugout, the 1 more Dugout player, Tenka has got to save it and can't do it. No health to spare. Your watch finds the kills, and it was a full stack for Moonlight, and everyone just gets absolutely melted. 11-2 for Genji. You watch. What in the world is happening?
Now we wait.
I mean, I've got to see some sort of timeout come soon for Moonlight, just to discuss what's going on. Have they lost that spark already?
My ult's ready.
Certainly hope not.
Cutting through.
3 players over towards mid right now for Moonlight. They're gonna go ahead and try to break it pretty early. Gonna go ahead and trip that sheer wall, but actually, and it pops the dimensional drift after, and actually has to completely wait it out. So it's time wasted on that. Gonna be able to clear back sight though, and gain some space for 12-hour shifters. Razorvine gets destroyed.
Where are you?
The Steel Garden gets popped as well. It's gonna provide a little bit more delay. Spike comes down too. And the counter Steel Garden as well comes out. And what a shot from Peachy over in heaven. That's going to be the start they needed to cut a hole in this defense, in this post plant right here. Razorvine's come out. Hatchel Divide comes out as well. These players trying to play for trade as best they can, but it does not matter. 2v2 situation. Flash comes out. No one on the spike right now. And the timing through the smoke. Genji finds it. The TP. Now all of a sudden 12-hour shifters find themselves at an advantage. TP comes out and Genji TPing in front of Mix's face. and still landing the kill.
Move in after I strike.
Disrespect of the
That's
highest
where it's
order.
weak.
And they continue along their warpath
1 second, peeps. I gotta
They
visit
want
the
that
astral to play some
rematch.
stars.
against Affinity. And clearly, they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. Another eco round for Moonlight, and it's honestly, to an extent, I think it's gonna take a Thrifty. A smartly played Thrifty, but it is probably going to take a Thrifty. We see this aggression here. What is going to come up with this? Walking up! Jupiter finds one! You watch all these players! It's an absolute brawl right now! And for the first time in what seems like the entire game, Moonlight find themselves in a man advantage situation. We see Peachy looking to flank here. The trip is online, so it does spot out one of the players. They should be aware of the flank, and they're actually going to go ahead and double back. Peachy, now aware of the possibility, is just going to head back towards R, play their life. And I honestly think these players on 12-hour shifters would do well to go ahead and rotate towards B. Actually, we might see... Wait, yeah, no. These Moonlight players, they're remaining steadfast. They're reading it. They're reading that they're going to re-hit. And Peachy's gonna go exploring. We see a dart. It's gonna come out, and these players go ahead and hide. One spotted.
30 seconds left.
We see a shock dart as well, and does get it a clean hit. Two players over in dugout. They're gonna have to go ahead and get this. One
enemy
found.
remaining.
The spike goes
planted.
down. Loser absolutely pinched right now, and Peachy finds the kill with the Sheriff. I said it would take a Thrifty, and a Thrifty is just what we got. Moonlight get themselves on the board.
All that. And with so
An
few
absolutely
means.
crucial Thrifty round to kickstart Moonlight Esports' potential momentum.
Checking the situation. That should work.
That's just what the doctor ordered right there.
Right there.
Now, they've got to continue along. Of course, 12-hour shifters, just given their economy, given how many rounds they won in a row, don't have a worry in the world in terms of their economy. They should be set realistically for the entirety of the rest of this half. But Moonlight is still kind of on shaky ground in a way. Cheeky little peek there, looking to get it. That recon goal
You want to find it?
will get something. Look at how many players are here right now. Look at the amount of util being expended. TP onto the site. What in the world is going on right now? No one backside at the moment, but this Astral Divide is proving to be quite difficult to navigate for both teams. The 12-hour shifters,
Planted.
of course, going to be in a situation where they're sort of at an advantage. The world is going on with these salvos right now. Winter catches the timing onto Mix. The post plant in full effect now. Sheer wall as well. Spots out some of these players. Spots another one. Winter finds the kill before finally getting traded. There we go. Oh my God! Still guarded.
enemy remaining.
Doesn't do a damn thing. Tenka finds a great shot. Gabe cleans it up though. And just as fast as Moonlight grab around 12-hour shifters, claim it right back. They say, nope, we are continuing along. We are not going to be shaken by that. And they clearly haven't. And Moonlight once again find themselves in a position where they are unable to buy. They're gonna have to try to light by as best they can. We do see a Marshall there from Tenka. We've seen what they can do with that gun, but it's gonna be enough. Oh my God, so much aggression towards Loser. Ends up finding a 1v1 and picking up a rifle. Huge. But it's gonna allow the rest of the players that are on attack to continue to push along and gain access to the site. You can see that this area of the map with the spike is being... There's no one home.
Blocking vision.
And now it's a post plant. 100% through and through.
Covering it.
Marshall shot from Tenka, and Yes, a rifle was recovered, but it's going to be quite difficult. Gabe finding one is just going to go ahead and try to potentially just back off. Might fall to the salvo. Not quite, though. And honestly, even this delay is good from Gabe here. They're just playing time. They're trying to do the best they can. Jumping down from heaven. Spam with the Marshall. Tenka finds one, but time, it's ticking low. What more can they do? 3v3 situation. Jupiter finds it. Is there any time limit? I don't think there's any time. No, not at all. And Gabe would have probably gotten the kill anyway. And it is 1-9. So 12-hour shifters guaranteeing themselves at least a 9-3 half here on attack. Potentially more. And if the last game was one of the best we've seen, this one just hasn't been what we've wanted, what we expected, just given the caliber of play that we saw last map from Moonlight. We know what they're capable of. We know what their ceiling is, but they just have yet to show it thus far in this game. Mitchell just gonna come out as well. Gonna spot two players. Trying to isolate a fight potentially. Tanka pretty much left alone, and Winter catches him out. And they're gonna get access to the A site. Genji coming out of that dimensional drift over towards CT. So much space gained right now as the spike gets planted. These players on 12-hour shifters are all over the place. They can't be spread out too far. They can't be spread too far. Then Genji gets one, and here comes the Armageddon. Doesn't really get much of anything at the moment. Gabe with one, with two. And they close it out 1-10.
Last round in the half.
It is absolutely devastating for Moonlight. And if things were rough for them in the mental department after the first map, it has got to be, I mean, absolutely demoralizing for them right now. 100%. An elimination game. You can tell they certainly
you want to
did
play? Let's
everything
play.
they could. It was like, oh my goodness. So much effort put in, and it's still happening.
Down,
it's not
B.
like these players have even fully quit yet. Fighting strong until the end. Great shot
Time to jump.
from Mix with that operator. Keep going and lands the shot onto Genji. Defending the site the best they can. That's exactly what they're going to do. Sees it already. Ostrich finds it. Loser with one. But there's the last one to stand. It's hit by the salvos. He's just sitting with the tour de force. Looking for more and is not going to get it. Mix with the operator finds three and closes out the half 2-10. So Moonlight grab round 8 and round 12, and that's it. That's all they manage. And now they have got an absolute mountain to climb. They've got to climb K2 if they want any chance of getting themselves back into this game, back into this series. But we have seen crazier things in Valorant. It all comes down to how resilient these players are. Do they have the wherewithal? We don't know. Certainly seem to be in somewhat okay spirits, actually. Messing around just a little bit over there. Over here, getting scanned out by the dart, and that's just honestly unfortunate placement. Well, fortunate for Gabe, unfortunate for Ostriches. They got spotted out. We're towards A, but really no one's home other than Ostrich at the moment. It's soon to change. The other players double back towards that site. I'm honestly not sure if they're aware of Looser. I don't think they are. Oh my god, the timing though. Wait. Sees more. And yeah, Looser's just gonna back right off. Gets the information. 100% understanding. Your watch finds one. It's not the start that they wanted. Spots another player out. Tenka getting that refrag. Huge. And they're gonna double back again. Playing around with how much space that they have on the map. It's interesting, but this is kind of the problem. They didn't leave anyone towards B, so now they've got to double back, but with really no
30
info as to
seconds
where anyone is. There's still 2 players defending the B site. They're 100% ready for it. Loser finds one, your watch finds the other. The last player just passed the shear wall. A 1v2, and Genji cleans it up, and it's 11-2. 12-hour shifters find the pistol round of defense, their defense. And yeah, it's rough. It is certainly rough.
Up I go.
And that spark that we saw from Moonlight, that aggression that I saw, I still see the spark. It's just the flame simply is not lit anymore. And honestly, 2-11 may seem like, I mean, it is a big deficit. Do not get me wrong. It is absolutely humongous, but and it's a huge hurdle to climb, but it is certainly doable. Loser spots out one, finds it with the outlaw. They're just looking to continue to defend this right now. Genji finds one, instantly traded. Another player falls to
Spike
Jupiter.
down A.
Loser trying to hit the shots, will not get it done. Looking to find it with the outlaw here and doesn't do it. Looks at just the wrong time. Now it's a 2v2.
I have the spike.
Things are equalized. Tenka goes ahead
Can't use that yet.
and plants the
Spike
spike.
planted.
Taking that back.
Winter, you watch
One
the only
enemy
ones left
remaining.
to stand here. Finds one. It's only Tenka left to stand.
One enemy
Left side of the
remaining.
site. Finds one. Has to get it done and cannot do it the off angle. And it's going to allow 12-hour shifters to get to match point. What in the world is going on? You watch. What are you doing? Are you trying to recover a gun or what? Maybe not. But nonetheless, match point here. 12-hour shifters. They can taste it.
Match point.
It is just within their reach. Victory moving on in the tournament. Surviving another day.
Does anyone have fun?
And getting to face Affinity Esports in the next round of the lowers to ultimately get themselves to the playoffs. But ultimately, I really do think this series has been honestly a storyline of resilience, right? Like we've seen moments of resilience from Moonlight, we've seen moments of resilience for 12-hour shifters, and we've seen the opposite from both sides as well. And that dichotomy is interesting, to say the least.
Trap destroyed.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Wait. Fully flash out! Loser! There's absolutely no way! Fully blinded! Still lands the shot with the Guardian! You've got to be kidding me! Mix falls off the back of the teleport and the flash. And that, all of a sudden, has just halted their push. Stopped it in its tracks. And they've got to explore other sides. They've got to try to take space elsewhere. It's do or die for them. They've got to equalize. But can they is the question. They've got to find someone on 12-hour shifters that slips up here.
30 seconds
There's
left.
3 players over towards Letting. Just gonna go ahead and back off. Sun coming out. What a
One
shot
enemy
from
remaining.
Winter!
Spike
You watch,
down, mid.
finds it, and it's only one left to stand. It's Tenka. Can they get it? One found, second one not there.
Defenders
and 12-hour
win.
shifters
I'm leaving now.
make a statement in the second game, 13-2. They come out on top 2-0 in this series. Moonlight Esports eliminated from the Quantum series. 12-hour shifters move on to face Affinity Esports in the next match in Group C. And it's got to be devastating for these players on Moonlight. It was, of course, the first map, yes, it was close. The second map was certainly not. And you could tell spark was there, flame wasn't lit, and then eventually the spark simply died. And it was so unfortunate, but a valiant effort. Commiserations to all those players on Moonlight. And I mean, just an incredible game, especially the first one in particular was just incredible. It was such a back and forth battle. Second one definitely was a pretty big score disparity, but you can tell Moonlight fought to the end. They did not give up, not fully. And of course, we look forward to seeing them, see what they do in the future. But 12-hour shifters, they did incredible. Subbed out a player after the first map, and that player decided to lock chamber on Pearl. Which, not to say that's a crazy pick, but I mean, certainly bold, certainly trying to make a statement, and a statement he did make. That was very, very impressive. Still did the job, still got value from those teleports, from those headhunter shots, from the tour de force and the trip, pretty much every piece of utility. And ultimately, the rest of the entire team just was still dialed in. They knew exactly how to play off of each other. It was excellent. So I can't wait. I want to take a look at these stats as soon as possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. And your watch was 21-8. Only two players on 12-hour shifters managed to get above double-digit deaths. That was insane. Gabe had 3 deaths in the entire game. A 4.0 KD. I mean, just incredible showing. And Jupiter, the MVP for Moonlight. Of course, these honestly, all those players, especially in Haven, were dialed in. And yeah, I mean, while it was 13-2, of course, these players, especially really Jupiter in particular, especially, and Mix, and Tanka, really the top 3, I'd say, had those moments of brilliance still. You could tell, I mean, they still had that mechanical prowess. You could tell what their ceiling was. But I mean, yeah, just ultimately all around great game. Excellent series that we saw. Excellent amount of resilience. Excellent storyline. Just in this one match. It's a testament to the level of competition that we see here in the Quantum series. So excellent stuff. I absolutely cannot wait to see what more we have in store for the other groups and for the rest of Group C, to see who ends up going to the playoffs. I absolutely can't wait to see it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for being here with me. Really, really appreciate it. Y'all have done incredible, and it has been an absolute treat to watch. So thank you once again for tuning in. My name was Nobi. I've been your caster. It was an absolute pleasure. It was an honor to cast with you, to just cast for you all here. And I'll see you soon. I'm not going too far. You will see me again later in the tournament. Absolutely can't wait. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.